We have a list of things to do today. We're going to try and do some divinational pulls and readings today. We're also going to make um, a blend that's between an offering and um, um, like a psychic kind of um, powder or incense. Most powders and incenses can become an oil. It's not difficult to make one, especially powders, and then put it into an oil or an alcohol to get it more perfumey, and to use it to anoint and stuff like that. We have a couple different things that we're going to use. We have herbs de Provence. One of the spirits I currently work with, one of my ancestors, the chicken, is very much attached and connected with this, but herbs de Provence also, in my opinion, is an essence of home, especially during the summertime. Another ingredient we're going to use today is cedar tips. This is to help work with the local spirits around me, but also to bring in blessings. Um, One of the local trees around me is juniper, which I consider to be my grandmother tree. Leaning more into psychic abilities and divination, we have three elements. We have mugwort, we have star anise, and we have celery seed. Celery seed is new to me. I'm taking a hoodoo class, a foundation on hoodoo divination, and this was suggested as something that we make into some kind of blend. Um, it's used to help ward and psychically defend yourself, as well as to bring visions and to clearly help your divinations be clear and true. And so we're going to blend this together today. We have one of my favorite mortar and pestles that has come to me over time, and we're going to kind of set up the space. Um, to honor one of the spirits I have been working with, his name is Darar. He is a duke, I believe, in the Infernal Divines pantheos. We're going to light some charcoal and some incense, and we're going to get going. Alrighty. Okay. So I think we should start with the biggest pieces. which will be the star anise. I'm making a smaller amount to see if I like this. So we'll start with this amount. All right. And we will offer some to the charcoal disc. Sometimes when I'm making blends like this, I like to add other elements to it. I'm still trying this one out. Things I might add later would be tobacco. I think tobacco is my go-to plant. It's good for banishing and exorcisms, but it's also great as an offering and as a blessing. And who doesn't like cigar every once in a while? I also might consider putting in here poppy seeds to help really induce like dreamlike states, to help make the merisma more palatable for channeling and for reaching across the veil. I might also consider using orris root or uh, devil's club root to help ward off spirits maybe I don't necessarily want, and to help coax in the good spirit. Um, I like orris root for the smell. It's a very sweet smell, um, but very like floral. It's a sweet floral, not the same as anise. All right. I don't mind it when the incense is a little chunky, but I do think I want the seeds to be ground up a little bit more. But that's good enough right now. So then what I like to do is I like to call up the spirit of the plant to stir it for back into the plant. We're next going to put in some cedar tips. That feels good. Okay. Do a quick smell test. From what I have read up on a couple different incense books, is it's good to have a little bit more woody plants, such as not just like the boughs, but like grinding up uh, sawdust from particular plants can be really helpful. Um, because the wood allows for it to burn a little bit more cleanly and not burn too quickly, but also burn hot enough for when you add like resins and stuff like that. A lot of this is by eyeball and by smell. I'm smelling more of like the licorice. The anise is definitely very strong. Um, but the cedar is like opening it up a little bit. It definitely smells like a forest. Just a little bit. Well, I think we'll add more to that in a moment. Um, I'm being called and guided to add something different, something that was not necessarily on the list. We're going to add some kapal to it, some kapal dust. That works, I suppose. Then we're going to add some frankincense. Not a lot, but enough. Alrighty. Well, that lasted a lot shorter than I wanted it to have. That's sad. Okay. Well, I guess you'll go back to being charging. We'll just pop this in. Give it more time. Okay. Okay. So we're going to mix this up some more while we continue to grind it together. I might have. No. No, I don't. I really need to replace my tobacco. It's fine. I call for the grandmother tree of juniper. I stir you for Ada and our workings. I call for the spirit of the kapal tree. And I stir you forth from the life that you had in conjunction to the kapal tree. I ask, I conjure for, I evoke the spirit known as Belial. And I call for the spirit of the plant, of the tree, of frankincense. I stir you forth from the sleep. Help us to see clearly. Help for the spirits to communicate effectively. And in conjunction with the frankincense, I call for the spirit of Lucifer, angel of light, demon of dark, two-faced being. We're going to offer a little of what we have to the coals as we continue on. And we're going to blend it in as we do, thinking about the plant and how it grows, thinking how it grew in the sunlight and the nutrients from the earth, what forest it may have grown in, how it was cultivated. Done. Okay, we're going to add some celery seed. I think it's going to smell similar to anise, but a little bit more watery. I think we're going to go with a whole spoonful. Okay. A little bit more salty. Thinking of the celery and how it's grown, reminding ourselves of the crunchy, stringy texture. As we conjure and stir forth the spirit of the celery plant. Then we have our herbs of Provence. I think smells amazing. We're going to give a little bit more of a scoop to our charcoal. I think we're going to add 2 scoops of those, kind of even it out. Again, with herbs de Provence, I kind of associate it with the chicken, which I consider to be my ancestor. If it wasn't for the chicken, I wouldn't be here. Which sounds silly, but relies so heavily on like cows and sheep and chickens. Uh, to bring in more of that chicken spirit, I'm going to add a little bit of chicken salt, my own unique thing that I have. Ooh, I do have animal parts in here, so don't look away if you don't like animal parts. Good. Going good in there. Okay. We're going to stir this together. I'm going to I think the last thing I may add, I think we're going to add 2 more things. We're going to add some rum, some spiced rum, because alcohol will help it to lift some of the volatile oil. And then I think, and not necessarily in this order, I want to add some dragon's blood oil to give it a little bit of an oomph, to boost it. I think it smells good. I'm back. I grabbed a couple things, a jar, which we will label. Labeling is so important. We have dragon's blood. We have spiced rum. And I make this myself. I'm almost out. But when I don't have as much tobacco as I would like, um, I have some other stuff that I like to utilize in my mixtures for myself. I work a lot with spirits, and one of the things spirits need is the ability to have the energy they need. And this has a variety of different things that they can pull from. Um, it's a personal recipe of mine. Um, so we will add a little bit of that. We're going to add a little bit of this to here. Probably just going to add a couple drops. Mm. This is going to be a very sweet mixture. I want the mixture to get like damp, but not necessarily wet. All right. Okay. Okay. Oh, side. Now we're going to stir this all together. If um if for whatever reason you couldn't use alcohol, you probably could use oil. I know you can get like fragrance oils of different kinds of alcohols. Um, um, but that too was too much. If like you're in a recovery or something like that, you probably just use like olive oil, um, or an oil that doesn't have as much of a smell that I really like to use is sweet almond oil. Um, it doesn't have as much of a smell as um, like grapeseed or um, olive oil. They can be kind of smelly, uh, and they, in my opinion, they seem to be. You can get little bottles of almond oil at Sprouts for not too much. So normally I would let this sit a little bit more, but I'm done with it. I'm still going to have to come back and stir it because it is still wet. Uh, and I want this to be dry by the time I get ready to use it. Although we're going to use some right now. Uh, And then if you wanted to take this and add this to, like, if you wanted to make, if you can't do incense, you can't burn stuff for whatever reason, or uh, um, whatever. What you could do is you could add a fraction of those. So, like, you'd feel like the bottom of the bottle, like that amount. And then you would add oil to, like, about here. And you would let it sit and stir, kind of like you would an infused oil. Um, and that would allow for you to have that oil. And then what you could do after that um, is you could then add some fraction of that oil, like this amount, to. I've been playing with it. I'm getting into the hobby of perfumery, and different perfumes have different amount of oil to alcohol ratios, which is really interesting. And I've been playing around with that, and so you too could play around with that, but be careful. So, um, okay. So now that we have that going, we're gonna. Oh, that smells really nice. We'll come back to that, and then